tuned in to Athletics LLC with Lamar, Lucius, Big League Chew, and my man Clyde. You're about to be schooled in all things track and field. This is experience. Yes, sir. We are talking past, present, future. Y'all listen up. Let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. We're back at it, coming at you. You'll get this on a normal day, but we're recording a little bit earlier because mass chaos is about to ensue in about 12 hours. So here we are while we're all still cool, calm, and collected. Gentlemen, welcome back for another fun episode. Athletics LLC back in effect. Clyde with guest appearance by Kai. What's going on?
All opinions of the evening are coming from the baby.
I love it.
Yes.
He'll tell us with his eyes. He got that best. I love it. Governor, I love your background. That's just making us feel better about where we're about to land for the next 5 days, right?
Well, we ain't lying about that.
You know, with the summer coming, you know, I invite you all to join me virtually or in person at this particular spot. This is Cayman Kai in Grand Cayman. It's on the northern tip of the island. So behind me, that the water is like to your waist, and you can walk out to like quarter mile. It is unreal. And then it drops off.
You can sit down in the water.
It's just
and
so
it doesn't cover
chill.
your head.
So, you know, I thought about it today, you know, not to say that I'm already there.
You're there. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
No, looking forward to beautiful Arkansas, for sure. For sure.
Man, oh man. I'm going to keep my good spirit like you. I'll remind you when we're standing at the meet. I'll just remind you. Lamar, I don't even know what those letters mean. So you can go ahead and say that out loud.
It's La Mariachi.
That's not how you spell it. That is not how you spell it.
You know what? Listen, I am at my core, I'm a hood gentleman. So we spell it the way we sound it.
Mission accomplished.
Thank you.
Mission accomplished.
Oh my gosh.
I threw in the Italian double C. I knew that was wrong. I absolutely knew that was wrong.
Oh my gosh. So Lucius, help your friend. Help your friend, please.
Prayers have been sent already. I mean, that's all I got for that dude.
Hey,
prayers.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I am well.
Good. Well, as always, this part of the season is always fun to get into. The track is back. A little bit tougher this week because there's such a quick turnaround, and not that nothing happened, because obviously stuff happened. And did it happen? We had Diamond League. We had a lot of international, smaller, quote unquote, smaller competitions going around the world. But track is back. Burn. The big obvious, we'll just address the elephant in the room. And we had a sighting and an actual execution from one young lady, Sha'Carri Richardson. Look at Kai's face. He said so.
Right? He literally said, and next.
You know, what he actually did in the middle of Chew making that announcement is he blew out his diaper. Which only proves he is absolutely my son.
Oh, I love it. It's garbage, huh? Yep, Kai, we know it's garbage. So, thoughts on the executions of Miss Richardson?
Well, I mean, it's clear that she is not where she was a year ago. She did look better in the consolation final that was run than she did in the first one. The first round looked scarily a lot like what we saw from her in Eugene at Prefontaine last year. That was not that was scary. The next round, she looked a lot better. And I think the one thing I take away from it is that she did beat TT, and TT has run fast this year. So I think the jury's still out. The people out there that are, absolutely crushing her, she might maybe wait about 5 weeks and see where she is. She might be better in 5 weeks. We'll see.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I was out recruiting, so I didn't get to see it like in time and even look at it now. Wasn't there inclement weather and a stoppage and a startage and a stoppage and stuff like that?
I'm not sure it ever, once it started, I think it just kept rolling, but
Okay.
it was supposed to start at 6, and then it became 7, and then it became 8, and then it became 8:35 or something like that. So it did get pushed back a lot, but there was never a stoppage once it started. I'm sure it affected her and everybody else who's warm up. The track at UNF, I can't imagine how well that thing retains water back there, so. Yeah.
It was Florida in May, is what it was. You know what I mean?
Don't hate on my birthday month.
Listen, my honest opinion of that race, and because she has not stepped out there and ran all this year, of course that's going to be the headline. I honestly felt like there were a lot more interesting things going on in that competition, but it's an opener. It looked like everybody else is opener. I mean, last year Tiana opened their season running 11:7.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up running 10:9, right? So it's an opener, and it's because of the way Miss Richardson plays the media and her social media presence and the way she conducts herself that has everybody wondering what's going on. I'm glad she stepped out there and raced. Fantastic. There was literally nothing worth discussing from that competition. It looked extremely average for a pro women's 100-meter race. And she was just one of the many average races that were run that night. Nothing to write home about. I'm certain the next one will be better. And it needs to be. The difference is her clock is now extremely short to get ready to make this team. And it's just, I find it interesting that everybody is just assuming she's made the team. She hasn't made the team. And she's gonna have to go out there and make this team, because there's gonna be a whole lot of people ready to run in June.
Yeah, and I think that's the elephant in the room is like, who is the women's 100-meter team for the USA, right? Who you riding with?
It's a total crapshoot.
Yeah. I mean, there's nobody out there you go, well, she's definitely making the team, right?
Right.
Not a soul,
And let's be clear, I'm not suggesting that it's going to be slow. It's just an wide open as
it's
never been wide.
I don't think
open.
it's going to be slow at all. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be slow at all. It's going to be fast. It's just, to sound like the governor, there's a plethora of people out there that can do it. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That's high key retention there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It stuck right there in the brain.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, I will say this. I mean, and one of the things in terms of the psychological aspect of it, with the way that the track meet didn't start and the delay and the delay and the delay, one of the things, and as coaches and former athletes, we've all been through it. When you take a step down in terms of quality, in terms of, the overall atmosphere of what a professional meet should be, and you go through something like this, no one got paid. This was nothing, so what I'm trying to say is the motivation had to come from inside to run fast last night, right? And, we all know how lightning mornings, all that stuff works. You get that, hey, gotta shut it down, 30 minutes, so on and so forth. Keeping yourself up, over, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, like I can understand why the results were so subpar, because that, the motivation in itself, it's like, hey, let's get our season started, right? It's not, hey, you got to go run 10-6 today. No,
Yeah.
let's get off the schneid. Let's get our season started. So I feel like it mattered more to her to win than it did the time. I think the folks out there that have got sucked up into this tidal wave, the Sha'Carri tidal wave, are going to criticize her at every step. This is the bed she made, in my opinion. So, I feel like, hey, you got out of the meet injury free. You got to win, however small a win it might be. Move on to the next. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I can't forget the
Yeah.
confidence that comes out of winning too.
Well,
Absolutely.
We talk
and
about
so-
that a lot. Yeah.
And some people will think that Lucius was being petty when he called it a consolation final. Let's be clear. If you go look at the meet results, which we have right here,
Right.
she finished 5th because she did. The fact that they added another race later on that she won, in the competition, she finished
And for
5th.
the record, they called it the consolation final.
Right.
That wasn't
so
me
that-
calling
right,
it. That's what
right.
they
So that's
called
just
it.
that's not
Yeah.
anybody that's not anybody
Right.
taking shots, but like all online, it's like she won her race. I'm like, wait a minute, she finished 5th. That
Okay. And so,
was an extra
Okay, so-
exhibition.
yeah, I'd like to add this to the whole thing as well. Like there was nobody fast in the meet,
No,
right? Like people that have run very fast all year long didn't run faster. And see, if you've never been in Florida in May or any other month, when it rains for 3 hours, it's hot, it's muggy, it's sticky, the air is thick,
it's a sauna.
so exactly right. So nobody was going to run fast, and so I'm not so sure that that performance, especially the second race, wasn't a lot better than people are giving her credit for. A lot better.
Yeah. I'm going to be brief on this one. Look, welcome to the party, Sha'Carri Richardson. I mean, that's it, right? Like your 2022 season has started. You're healthy. Now let's see how we do. I don't know if she's going to do. Is there even a Diamond League race between now and the trials?
New York
Prefontaine.
Okay, so
and Prefontaine. Yeah.
and pre.
Right.
Is she in pre?
Right. Well, contractually, she's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, all I'm saying is, look,
Right.
maybe it's because I'm a combined eventer at heart, right? But in championship years, all that matters are the championship trials and the championships themselves. The other things are wonderful appetizers and accoutrement, all kinds of other wonderful things, but there's steak and there's potatoes in championship years, right? Like you got what you got to do to make the team and then what you got to do to get a medal. And like I'm not oversimplifying our sport, but honestly, that's it. So, I'm happy she's back running. I'm happy that she's healthy because I don't wish anything negative on anybody. Next.
Wow. Okay,
Can
Mr.
I
Moderator.
ask a didn't think I was gonna see that from the track lead. Kyra Jefferson ran the 400.
She didn't run the 400 all year long.
I've just been missing that then because
Yeah,
I was
she ran.
like,
She ran.
hey. I was
I
like,
think
look
she
at
ran
Kyra out there running
51.
the 400.
She ran 51:55 about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's her
All
that's her race of choice right now. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I found that very interesting.
but again, like I think the big thing for me is like there's not one thing, unless I missed something, 'cause I did turn it off after a while. There was nothing, probably the best performance was Devin's 13-1,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
But other than that, like there was nothing in the meet. Like nobody ran anywhere near what they've been running. So that tells you, like, so again, I think like you said, welcome to the party, Sha'Carri. Anybody that's writing her off and thinks that she's not going to be a factor in 5 weeks, that's not very smart. I mean,
Not at all.
because here's the thing about her, like, and I think the governor alluded to this as well. Like it was a confidence builder. She won.
Yeah.
She walked away healthy. And that's the one thing we know about her. She doesn't fear any of them. Right. And so based on the second race where you saw that mid to late race acceleration that she's famous for, yeah, that she's gonna be dealt with. But again, I'm not picking the team.
I mean, we
I'm
will.
not betting on who's gonna make that team. I mean, we will at some point, but like, wow, like no.
Interesting.
When is Prefontaine? That's a much
28th.
better.
This coming Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. This coming Saturday.
What else for track is back? We had
I mean, you had Birmingham, where Parchment, the last two Olympic champions hooked up, the two Jamaicans, and Parchment looked like Parchment, McLeod looked like McLeod, and Parchment ran him down late, but I'm sure that'll shape up because their trials are in 5 weeks. So I'm sure there'll be another showdown with those two guys in 5 weeks. Dina Asher-Smith ran 11-1 something to win that race. I think I'm not sure what happened in the 200. There was a false start by Trayvon Burmel that was greatly overshadowed the result of the men's 100. So.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then Zarnell Hughes false started right after him.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Because Hughes is always false start.
Yeah, like, I don't know what's going on with that.
But before we talk about it, what I want to talk about is like Otto Bolden starting to be like Tony Romo, right? Like Otto Bolden said before the first start, when he was talking about Zarnell Hughes, he's had problems with false starting. So then after Trayvon false starts, Otto basically says Zarnell Hughes would now be the prohibitive favorite in this race. And then he false starts.
Wow.
Yes.
I was like, I feel like Otto was scripting this.
the Birmingham men's 100, if anything, was a waste of time.
A waste of a lot of time. That was like 15 minutes of airtime. Yeah.
It was long.
I mean, yes, in that reality, but Trayvon, that's a long trip to false start.
He did apologize on Twitter. He asked for forgiveness for making a rookie mistake. He said he did apologize.
He didn't say that.
He did.
He did.
Yes, he did.
He did. And I guess.
Hold on, Clyde. Am I one to make up stuff like that?
Like I'm not gonna flame the young man, right? I'm just not. But you don't want to
be a meme next week?
Oh, I don't care. Was that meme this week?
No.
I
Too short. I don't know. Let me check.
But like, look, man, if you run 970 something last year and this, right? You go all the way over to Birmingham to take on a field that, let's be frank, nobody in that field really thought they could beat him, right? What could cause you to false start, not by a little bit? Like, we're not talking about, bang, bang. Like, this was a false start. He was so far gone, nobody moved. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of them, like, this is if this was a conference meet, y'all. If this was a conference meet, we would have all been like, he did it on purpose.
It was an honest effort. False start.
What was your comment about that? About false starts?
I mean, listen, a wise man once told me that if you only false start for one of two reasons, you are either scared or ill prepared. I don't know which one he was, and I don't want to speculate, but I know this. That's exactly what you saw. Like that was not look, Clyde said it properly. That looked like an honest effort, questionable false start. Like, it was so egregious.
Okay, so
Oh.
wait, I didn't know that there was a tweet apology. So now I'm more focused on the tweet apology because
Of course you
Fine,
are.
we are oh so surprised by this, sir.
no, because all right, look,
He-
it was a couple months ago. Trayvon got himself into an IG live war with an idiot that he shouldn't have been given the time of day to,
And the idiot destroyed him.
and right, it wasn't a good look. And now, like, first of all, you don't owe anybody an apology for the false start in the first place. But then,
Right.
so don't apologize. But then, secondly, why are you calling it a rookie mistake? Like, you're not a rookie. Like, come on, like, just, oh man, stop with this. Like, the
No,
social media stuff don't work with everybody. Like, you gotta stop.
I had the pleasure of I had a pretty in-depth conversation with Mike Marsh this week, and we got into some of the inner workings of how Coach Celeste taught them, and him and Carl and Leroy and the whole thing. And the thing he talked about was the lack of patience by today's sprinters, the fact that they put so much pressure on the start and the getting away, that they're just giving away the mechanics of the race. And he said the one thing Coach Telez always said to them was, just remember, they don't give medals away at 30 meters. So, and I think that's why we see so many wild, uncontrolled race models, because nobody's actually running a race model. They're just putting the blocks down and trying to run as fast as they can, and those lead to false starts. I'm not saying that's why Trayvon. So I'm going to be the meme next week now, I guess. But anyway, so I'm not bashing Trayvon or his coach. I'm just saying that, a lot of mistakes we're seeing in the 100 is because I don't think anybody's teaching patience anymore. We've gotten totally away from the correct race model, the drive and all that stuff. And the one thing that's missing, in my opinion, is patience, because nobody's very patient anymore.
Well,
Okay, so do we credit Christian Coleman with creating that fear?
No, I think that's just who Christian is. That's his strong suit. But I mean, again, I'll be the meme again next week. I mean, is there anybody that's studying Christian's last 30 and trying to mimic that? Because Lamar and I have had this discussion on more than one occasion. When Christian Coleman masters the maintenance phase, the world record's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's in big trouble.
So I look at it like this. So I don't think it's a question about him being scared. I don't think it's a question about him being flustered, whatever. I think the young man wanted to put on a show, and I think he got a bit ahead of himself. And sometimes, that's just my opinion. When you can't put the cart before the horse, you still have to run the race.
Right.
And it just seemed to me like he was extremely okay, and
So let me interrupt you 1 second. What causes that?
Well, that's just the thing. I mean, I would think at this point that there would be some level of control, knowing that I am the one that's going to put on this show. They're all here to see me, right?
Right. So, but here's the issue. This is what I think you're missing. The show was not to win the race. The show, he's trying to run a fast time. Yes. And that's what Mike was alluding to.
Yes.
Like where everybody's trying to run fast, because if Trayvon puts the blocks down to execute the race model, nobody in that field has a chance. But because he's run 9.7, and clearly he's probably trying to run 9.6 now.
Yes.
Now he overthinks it. He false starts, and then you sit in the stand. So it doesn't matter. So that's what I was trying to lead you down that path of.
No.
Like the problem is they're trying to run. They're chasing time instead of chasing perfecting the race model and the race mechanics. That's what I was trying to get at.
Okay.
Hence the show.
So, couple of things that happened at this meet that I think that are noteworthy. I'm sure Lamariachi is aware. There was an incredible discus throw
Mhm.
at this meet, 71-27, which is now
Did you
entered the top 10 list all time. I mean, we
Oh.
haven't seen throws like this in years. It has been
Yep.
a long time, you know. So we have to give a shout out to Mr. Christian Che. I'm sure, is that how you pronounce his last name?
I think it's pronounced Che.
Che, yeah, from Slovenia. I've seen the video. I've only seen the slow-mo. I want to see the thing in real time to really understand, you know, the amount of effort this man put into the throw. But man, I mean,
Well, yeah. I think the last person to throw 70 meters might be Alekna's dad.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
real talk.
yeah, with the tie dye.
And what was interesting, yes, with the they're Latvian, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
not Lithuanian.
Lithuania.
Yeah,
Because I think Jerry Garcia is Lithuanian. I think that's where the whole tie dye thing came from.
Okay.
But there's some connection there. I might be butchering it, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it was. But what I thought was really interesting about it, right, is like he threw so far, he was confused, right? The last time I saw a look like that over somebody else's, like over somebody doing that over their own performance was Bob Beamon, right? Like Bob Beamon comes bouncing out of the thing, and like then they tell him how far it is in feet because he doesn't know the metrics at all, and then he's like on his knees, like what in God's name just happened? Dude was basically the same way. Like I think he thought it was a bomb, but I think in his head a bomb was like 68 meters. Do you know what I mean? And it lands and skids and whatever. And like when he throws it, I was like, I think it looks pretty good. And it lands, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, just do like 72 meters. And I know it was 71 low, whatever, but you know, I'm glad you brought up the discus because what we need to talk about are two things from that meet, from the field events. One, okay, I always mess her name up and she's too awesome for me to mess it up. The German long jumper.
Mihambo. Yes.
She's a monster, and
Yes.
everybody's got a giant problem with her.
Yes.
Because she can jump 7 meters anywhere she wants.
709 first jump. Thanks for coming. Have a nice day.
But let me say this. I need y'all all to lock in. The World Athletics crew has managed to F up the field events again. Now, y'all know how crazy I went about last year's debacle, right? This is worse because what they have now done is tried to create drama, and they've stolen victories, more than likely, from deserving competitors.
That ain't new.
No, so listen to this, right?
Scenario is
The scenario is new. You go through 5 rounds. 3 people get a last jump or a last throw. That is similar to last year. Here's the all marks count, which was the big debacle from last year. But here's where they messed it up most egregiously this time. If you are leading, you go first in the last round.
Why?
Right? This is to give the opportunity for that last round heroics. But I keep saying, but you've given it to 3rd place. Now let's just think about the event. I know every single one of you popped in your heads immediately, right? What is the last thing you want to give Krauser, Kovac, any one of them is an opportunity to go last.
Yes.
Right? Like that's what Ryan Krauser has worked his butt off to do, is to make sure he always throws last. So now you're telling me I got to figure this out so I'm 3rd going into the final group so I can throw last? Like, what are we doing?
I mean,
Well,
did the
well,
athletes come up with this one? Because you know they created
thank
the
you
other
very
one.
much. Yeah, whatever.
Well, look at it from this standpoint, and this is wrong before I say it, so don't jump through the screen at me, please. But maybe they're thinking that this will now put the pressure on the leader to try to throw further to make sure he or she can't be caught.
Oh, you are 100% correct. What they are trying to do, right? We've all watched movies like this. They are trying to create drama as opposed to accepting the innate natural drama that comes in the field events. Right? Look, why do we love?
Side of it is this: is that the leader typically doesn't throw or jump if they've won the competition. So now they have to throw or jump.
now they have to throw or jump, and this is exactly what they've tried to create. But like, why do we think Carl Lewis is so great? What was Mike Conley's reputation on? What, you know, like every great field eventer has been like, they had the ability to come through in their last attempt. Now let me tell you this right now: if I was in this competition, right, 8:35 and the long jump was winning, I'm leading. I take my last jump, which is the first jump in the final. I jump 8:40, right? And then the guy who had only jumped 8:15 in the first 5 rounds gets to jump after me, gets the adrenaline spike, gets all the way up on the edge of the board and lands at 8:42. Let me tell you something. Look, they better stop me from getting to Sebco's box, because that's ridiculous.
I'll take it a step further. Now, last year, under the ridiculous rules, you know, I think all of us, definitely most of us, said, you know what? Protest it, don't even jump. And they were like, oh, you knew they need their money, they need their ranking point. Okay, cool. Now that all my earlier attempts count, I'm not jumping in the last jump. You're going to be my final 3. I'm supposed to jump first. I'm going to sit my butt down and be like, nope, you're not getting it from me. You better work it out. That's what I'm going to do.
It's just so bad that they keep, like, look, would you guys all agree there are a lot of things that we can do to make our sport more viewer friendly and more exciting, so to speak, to the casual fan?
Absolutely.
Would y'all also all agree that most of those things don't involve the field events at all?
Yeah.
I mean, like the field events, they already come as their own mini movies, right?
Yes,
Like that's the whole.
And the thing is like, the field events, they are what they are. They have their own drama. They have their own suspense. I mean, I tell you right now, as I want nothing to do with coaching the field events. This is the craziest thing ever. Like who wants to do that?
Amen.
You get 6 attempts. I don't want 6 attempts. 10 to 45 seconds, or 44. I mean, 10, 9 to 44 seconds. I go sit down. What are you doing?
I don't need to get messed up more than once. I'll deal with one.
Yeah, you got 6 chances to play with my heart. I'm good.
This is the thing. Okay, we all remember where we were when Saladino pulled out that last jump at the World Champs. We all remember Pedroso in Sydney. We all remember Christian Taylor pulling it out multiple times. We all remember Walder in the NCAA. We remember Powell. We remember Lewis. You know, I don't understand what this narrative is trying to do, because why are you waiting? So who is it that says in those last 3 jumps that someone is going to pull out magic? What happened? Why do we have the other 5?
Right.
Why do we have the other 5 attempts?
Right. I don't get it.
Yeah,
it makes
I've had this discussion
sense
so many times. It's like, there's certain things about track and field that just need to be left alone.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Just leave. I mean, like, check this pure man against man, woman against woman.
Yes.
The fastest, the strongest, the whatever. Let us be. Because every time you try to change it, you muck it up. And this is not good.
Look, one of the most lasting images from this year's indoor worlds was that the meet was over and there was 1 pole vault attempt at a world record left. That was it. The whole stadium was there. Nobody had moved. Everything else was done. The world was in Mondo's hands. And you know what he did? He delivered.
Yes, he did.
Because that's what field eventers know they are taught to have to be able to do. Control your emotions. It's part of being an elite level combined eventer, field eventer. Like, you have to learn to do that and use all that testosterone and use all of that adrenaline to create greatness. Now we're manipulating it, and you're only gonna get those things in major championships. So when we're showing us, you know, like the casual fan is that's what these Diamond League things are supposed to get us, right? Casual fans. Because everybody who watches the Olympics and watches World Championships, it doesn't matter. They're going to watch.
Hey, I have a question. We're worried about the crowds in the Diamond League meets. The stands are packed.
Yes.
Always.
And they always have been. So why are we
I just
worried
don't get
about
it.
these meets? You know?
I don't get it. That's that literally is like handicapping the 100. All right, so Trayvon's PB is 975. You know, Zarnell's PB is this, right? And then basically using a formula, figuring out exactly how many feet or inches that is, right? And then everybody starts on.
I want you to stop right now because somebody's going to hear that and try to do it. Stop it.
Hey,
Stop it.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Somebody's going to hear it and be like, that's a great idea.
One, that's a lot more interesting than these field events.
See what you just did?
Well,
No, but-
it actually exists. It actually
it does
exists in
exist.
Australia.
Right.
That race actually exists on grass. They actually,
Oh, wow.
it's a stall. I think it's called a stall gift. I think it's one of those races. But yeah, it is fascinating to watch.
But given Lamarachi's, if I'm pronouncing that,
Lamariachi.
Whatever.
No. What did you call him?
I
You
don't
didn't
even know.
mess with the Lamar. You didn't mess with it.
Lamarachi. I like that.
So,
Oh my God.
That sounds better than
Given-
Lamar or whatever it is.
Given the very poignant rant that you just delivered on the field events, and this particular conversation started about Miss Mahambo, I'd like to throw a question to you and the rest of everybody else. Mahambo is clearly like the top talent in the event right now, but she's been good for a really long time, and she's never beat any of the recent legends. So now it's almost like the path has been cleared and she's kind of just out there by herself. You're right. Like she, you know, like we had a little golden age in the women's long jump with T and Reese and come on.
Well, I don't want to crush your bubble because I actually like where you were going, but Mahambo did beat B Reese to win the gold medal last year, sir.
But not at her best though. You know what I mean? Like
you said she's never beaten them.
Fine. She won the gold medal in the one time where no one even jumped 7 meters. Awesome. Except, right? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
so it's like,
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, like, look, sometimes it happens that way, right? Like, look, Ashton Eaton was undoubtedly the best dude out there for like 11 years, right? He retires, and now there's 2 active 9,000 point guys.
yeah.
You know what I mean? What wouldn't we have loved to have seen them and him?
Yes. I guess. Yeah. I guess
But he beat
know.
both of them. You know, like that's what I'm saying. Is like part of what happens is they both have scored over 9,000 points because of taking L's from Ashton. Well, right? Like that's how it happens.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of where my brain is trying to go with this, because she never stepped up when everybody was ready and challenged that core group. And now the core group is retired, having babies, and whoever else, right? So it's like, is she just gonna dominate now, and or is somebody gonna step up? Because
no,
Romacek can't jump with her. Lorraine can't jump with her. Stowers can't jump with her.
See, now you're delving into and I mean, I could go on for hours on this, but now you're delving into what I think is wrong with the horizontal events right now. You know, and I've said this to Lamariachi several times. When we were jumping, the greatest jumpers in the history of the event, we could reach out and touch them. They were there. The standard was there. If you weren't jumping 840 plus, don't even bother, right?
Yeah.
So mentally, you went into a competition knowing that you had to go above and beyond just to be able to say, hey man, at least I was in the mix today, you know? And that is no longer there. There are no 720, 730, 740 jumpers on the women's side. There are no 880, 890 jumpers on the men's side, right? So from the standpoint of starting off in the fall, okay, what is my goal, right? The average male jumper is thinking, if I go 830, 840, I'm going to win a gold medal. That
and
is
if you jump
literally what they're
825
thinking.
or you jump 820, you're gonna make the USA team.
You're going to make the US team. You
Right.
jump 830, 840, you're in it for the medals. On the women's side, 680 plus.
Well,
you
see,
know.
I think it's worse for the women. Because listen, we don't need to talk about 740, but when Brit is Brit and T is T, you're talking 17s,
Yes.
7-0s,
Yes.
720, every now and then. Where's Tara? Where's whoever? It can't be sub 7.
Again, if the standard, and this is something that we tend to forget about. We're talking about 20 years ago when women were going 730 plus on a weekly basis, right? That is so far in our subconsciousness that the athletes nowadays, they're looking at 709 and going, oh my goodness, wow, this is what I have to deal with now. Oh man, I got to go back to the drawing board. And that is, it is, I think it's specific to the horizontals where imagination, a little bit of madness, that is not there. You can jump 820 in control. But you cannot jump 880 in control. You have to be on the verge, on the brink of destruction, right? That is not there right now. We're not seeing that imagination. And last time we saw it was a young man in Sweden, right? And the pit might have saved 890 because he didn't have any room, right? And he's been unhealthy ever since. And I don't know if we'll ever see that again. But again, there has to be that standard bearer, and that standard bearer has to be very consistent, right? And show up every single week for those folks underneath to go, oh man, okay, this wasn't good enough. I got to get better, Yeah,
I think an event that's going to have that same kind of effect on it right now is the men's 100.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the two issues you have is you've got this plethora of young men here in the States that run 9.8. And then all of a sudden you got the Italian. You know how we in the US are. Like we stepped up our game, but Bolt wasn't having it. It didn't matter how far you stepped up.
Right.
But Bolt made us better, right?
Yeah.
So now the problem you have is now you got Jacobs over in Italy. So he's a threat to the throne. So now the US athletes and coaches are chasing what he is.
Yeah.
So the 100 will get better. And I think that, in the long jump, you don't have Carl, you don't have Mike, you don't have those guys jumping far. And when a guy says, I can train hard enough to jump 830, I might win the Olympic gold, that's what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Oh, man.
What do we better do in the first 5 rounds?
Go ahead.
Said you better do it in the first 5 rounds.
So what do we think of Great Britain running 42:29? Did we see that?
That's a 10th faster than that's a 10th faster than Kentucky and LSU.
The nation of Kentucky and the nation of LSU.
No. Wait a minute. You don't get to do that.
What do you don't get to do that? You get to tell me that you're impressed with a national team running 42 seconds?
No, sir.
What's the world record?
No, sir. I'm not impressed with the time. I appreciate the fact that I know they are out there working towards winning the world championship.
Yep.
We are out here working towards whatever the hell happens.
I'm not gonna let you do that.
Whatever happens.
That's not fair. See,
Whatever happens.
You're throwing stones at a moving. You're being unfair. All I'm saying is that okay. So
hey, I threw that out there on a platter solution.
Exactly.
I just offered it up there.
Yes, and he just won my argument for me when you tell me they're out there working towards something and they run 42 too. What are they working towards? The collegiate record's 42 flat.
Sir, does the time honestly matter?
Oh, well, look, Yes, it
No,
always
I'm mad.
does.
Does it matter?
Okay, okay. So then what are you impressed by? If the
I
time
didn't say I
doesn't
was
matter.
impressed. I said I appreciate
Oh, you appreciate.
that I know.
My
Listen,
bad.
see.
the
You.
Brits.
Hey, look. Is he
9
doing the
times out of
moonwalk
10.
backwards right now?
No, sir. No, that's the word I said. 9 times out of 10. Look, let's be real. What do we know? When the World Championship comes, there's certain countries that you know are going to pass the stick well. The Brits are in that category
Yes.
because they do
Right,
stuff
so
like this.
the question was, were we impressed with the 42-29?
I
So,
said I
so-
appreciated.
So okay, all right. So then the answer is no, you weren't.
No, I'm not impressed. I did appreciate.
Okay, so then you went around the block to try to make another point. You were throwing stones at USA Track and Field again. Stop it.
I'm
You are
throwing
the-
stones at our
Look,
process.
you are the pettiest
Always.
human on this planet. You are, leave those people alone.
Oh my
Look.
goodness.
Okay, look. So I want to go on the record of saying this right now. Okay, I want everybody to take a deep breath, and we have, like, I think, what, 9 weeks until Worlds, right? Something crazy like that.
It's a single digit.
Exactly, right? So whatever it is, let's see what happens in 9 weeks, right? So if
That's our
then
attitude.
if it gets messed up, I'm gonna sit here on these tiles and let you go. I'm not gonna say a word. I'm not gonna say a word. But I'm just asking you to give the people a chance.
Oh,
My
man.
goodness.
I give
I have a
everybody
question.
a chance.
I have a question. Who's the women's relay coordinator, or call it coach? Okay,
Michelle Lewis Freeman.
Michelle Lewis
Gamecock.
Freeman.
that's right. Okay,
Gamecocks in the house.
I forgot. I know we said it, and I was like, we talked a lot about the men's
And
concoction.
Mike Marsh is the men. Michelle Lewis Freeman is the women.
So here's my question, and maybe it's a stupid question. Are we as concerned about the women's relay as we are the men's relay?
I mean,
The women seem to find a way to get it done. Hey, that's your fellow Gamecock. Behave yourself.
hence why you know I'm rooting for success.
Exactly. So behave yourself.
Oh.
So the women seem to find a way to get it done. They do. Like, we've had a lot. I mean, I can go all the way back to '96, and I remember Christy Gaines saying, "That's the men's problem. We don't have that problem. We're gonna get to stick around and win the gold medal," and they did. Right. So, it's not as big an issue with the women. It's not.
No.
It's not.
Well,
Not
that
as many
is
egos, not
an
as many
accurate-
problems. Yeah.
That's an accurate portrayal of history, but we've had this conversation for weeks going. My stance is, I come to this conversation from, we're not just supposed to win it, we're supposed to set the bar. Like, that's what was so special about London. They could have won the race, but JD and those women went out to set the bar, and look what we got, right? So last year, the Jamaicans had the best team on paper, and they screwed it up. We should have and could have won that race if we execute, which we did not do. But everybody, by and large, gave the women a pass because they came back with a medal. And I'm like, I watched a unprofessional passing of the stick for the most part, and it cost us a gold medal. So I'm like, I want us to reach excellence every time, because we have too much talent not to.
Okay, so we've been running the women's 4x1 long time, right?
Yep.
And so the one time where it was probably, there's been several times when it's gone pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So we have this one instance where it didn't. But I think the women should not be lumped into this conversation because they do a much better job than the men.
That's
So get it, yeah, much better job than the men.
100%.
And so, like, I would agree with you that the Jamaicans didn't, they were not as efficient. I think because they were thinking world record. So I think that they, overcompeted. And I think the USA women could have passed the stick better. But I'm gonna tell you again, USA Track and Field's happy with they got a medal.
Oh.
That's the charge. You can't you can't put your opinion into their minds. Not gonna happen. So you're gonna be mad at them forever on that one.
Yep. As long as our standard is as minimal as possible, yes.
So, don't throw the baby with the bathwater. Got it.
Right. Exactly.
Got it. We have not mentioned 987 by Seville? Was that the time?
Yeah, I didn't see that race, so I don't know. I think it was 87, but I didn't see it, so I can't comment on that.
Yeah.
I mean, like
remember.
the Africans are on the rampage. You know, they
So-
want to be counted for. They want to be a part of the party, and they're going to show. And again, I think history shows that when this happens, right? So Marcel Jacobs steps out of the shadows and does what he does, and now everybody's like, hey, he can do that. Why can't I do it? We just talked about that with the long jump, right? You know, does anybody remember that when Daphne Shippers all of a sudden came out of the woodwork as a multi and started running well in the 100 and 200, all these no-name people showed up as well? No? So, you know, it's the same kind of effect. And I think that, you know, him, Sabine, and the rest of the crew are like, hey, we want a piece of the pie. So it's Eugene. It's the cathedral, as my man Clyde likes to call it. And we've seen a plethora of fast 100s in that building, right? And I can't imagine that this year's going to be any different. Yeah, you got the NCAA meet, the World Championship trials, and then the Worlds in that building all in a month's time. It's going to be hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They might get some new track records.
I mean,
they might. They're definitely going to get some new ones.
I was being facetious.
I know you were. Marachi, my bad.
Listen here, it's mariachi.
Mariachi.
No.
See, I was gonna say.
Okay, Lamar. All right, I get it now. An ode to the 49ers, perhaps?
I mean,
A little bit of
took you
history.
a minute.
Mr.
it took you a
Steve
minute.
Murray. Okay. All right.
But he was Marucci, but I love them all.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm shaking my head with you.
Yeah, I'm so confused right now.
It's all right. Look,
So speaking of football, don't we have a hot topic in football?
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Great transition.
We have an epic petty moment
Oh yeah.
of sport.
Big time.
I
Big
think
time.
they should literally headline the next UFC.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Two 70-year-old white dudes going at it. Be perfect.
Oh my gosh. So if you haven't heard,
I was gonna say, set the stage for him, Chu. Set the stage for him.
I know. So we have a head football coach by the name of Nick Saban who lost it up. There is a student athlete who, of course, committed to said school because they were given $1 million and this, that, and the third, and gave a couple of examples. Immediately following, the student athlete said, then why is my mom still living in a 3-bedroom house with 5 kids? You know, and then you got a response from Prime Time saying, what? You know, so there's a lot to be said. And of course, steps were retracted, words were retracted thereafter by Saban. There are other head coaches who chimed in and said some words, but basically, you know, addressing the wild, wild west of NIL and the manipulation of and using, you know, Reggie Bush era words.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the big comment for me was Texas A&M bought every one of their recruits.
One of them.
Bought every one of their players.
He didn't say some. He didn't say a couple. Everyone.
Yes.
And folks, if you have not seen or listened to Jimbo's retort to all this, I would not disrespect that man by trying to tell you what he said. But I will tell you that he paints a very ugly picture of who he really believes Nick Saban is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very ugly.
And paints it a lot. He paints it well and long.
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Wait, let me break down the specific petty and why I love this story from all sides. First of all, it needs to be said, Nick Saban was way out of pocket.
I mean, way out of pocket.
Like, almost, that's the level of out of pocket that on the street where I grew up would get your ass whooped on site.
On site. On site.
So for him to step out there and let's be clear, he tried to retract it and say, I didn't accuse anybody of cheating. Bro, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I mean, didn't even insinuate, you accused.
Right. Like the whole original comment from Saban is like, they're doing things that we're not doing. They may or may, they may be legal now technically, but you accuse that man of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Which I found hilariously ironic because it's college football.
Yeah.
They all cheat.
Everybody's cheating.
Yeah.
And for Saban to be sitting around for all this time that he has and act as if he's the one guy that's so squeaky clean, he would never, it was an arrogance level that you don't really see in this world. My thing is this, I think it came from a sense of fear, because here's the reality. Nick Saban's the GOAT. Okay, he's the GOAT of college football coach, undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
But NIL balances the table, and there is no world that exists where Crimson Tide football is going to win the purse string battle with any of these people. You ain't got deeper pockets than Texas, the Texas A&M, than USC. Hell, they ain't got deeper pockets than Stanford or anybody else, right? So to me, he sees the train coming and he's no longer going to be able to sustain his dominance. So in a moment of petty fear, he throws out that accusation. And I am so happy that Jimbo Fisher came back, ripped the mask off, and basically said, I dare you to keep talking. Because that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is exactly
what he did. He's like, oh, if you want to go here, we can go. I got the receipts.
Yep.
And here's the thing. If anybody ever dumps the receipts or unburies the bodies, everybody's going down in flames, but Nick's on the mountaintop. So he got the most to lose, which is why the threat was perfectly petty.
And that's why we will never see the receipts. And all of these coaches know this. All of these administrations know this. What is interesting is that Nick Saban is now going on a national apology tour.
Yes.
He has flipped his everything, like full on. I should never have singled anyone out. That was a mistake. I apologize for that. Wow. Okay. So Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, is now, he's issued a public reprimand of Saban and Jimbo. And he stated that both coaches have violated SEC bylaws and for ethical conduct for derogatory comments and public criticism of another institution's athletics program. This is the part that, I don't care how competitive these two coaches are. And obviously, Nick is very upset that he got beat last year, but dude, you're both in the SEC, right? Do not mess with SEC. Don't do it, right? I think what we're seeing now is like, hey man, I know you wanna go put people on blast and all, but not in this world. We're gonna keep things. You can be competitive, but you're gonna keep the comments to yourself.
So, what I want to dive into is what I thought was the best part of this, right? Like we've all been around people of multiple cultures, but I think we all know that sometimes the Black response is very different to things than other ethnicities. And
Twitter's a thing for a reason.
And let me tell you something. Deion Sanders.
Oh boy.
Deion Sanders said two things that we all know in the Black community. They were not threats, they were promises.
Mm-hmm.
One, he said, they all know, I know who's bringing the bags.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get the nickname Primetime by accident. He wasn't wearing all that gold jewelry in college by accident. Okay, so this man literally has receipts, both as player and coach. We know this. But the second one was my favorite. He said that somebody asked him about whether Saban had called to apologize. He said, "Oh, I'm sure he's called. I haven't checked. But if you come after me in public, you're going to apologize in public where everybody can see and hear the conversation." And I was like, see, let the church say amen. Because you know what's never going to happen? Nick Saban is never, he has never been put on blast like that. Where you want to talk to me, you want to apologize, you want to bury these bodies? Let's have a town hall forum. That's what he said. Let's have a town hall.
Yeah.
You're not going to disrespect me publicly and then apologize to me privately.
Yep.
Let's meet in the town hall.
And we all know that Deion is dead serious and will not let that go. Somebody was joking about, like, does that mean they're gonna pull the Aflac commercials now with them too?
Wow.
No, but listen. You can have a lot of opinions about Deion on either side of his experience, his delving into the coaching realm and the whole Jackson State thing and what he's trying to do with HBCUs. Like, a lot of people have a lot of opinions about that. On this, his response is perfect. Yeah. It's the only way to do it. And he's right. You're absolutely right. Deion was the dude at Florida State. Hell, he might have a few Saban stories to tell from them tapes.
He probably does.
You know, like, Deion is the perfect and again, I love the pettiness of all of it. I love it from Jimbo and I love it from Deion. Like, nah, bro, you go get on this stage. You know, like, it's so good. It's so good. I'm here for all of it.
Popcorn worthy.
I'm here for all of it.
Yeah. This is how you know Nick Saban messed up. Paul Feinbaum.
Yes.
Feinbaum.
Yeah.
Feinbaum actually torched Saban.
Yes, he did.
Listen, I'm pretty sure Paul Feinbaum would have Nick Saban's baby if he could. Like, his whole career has been enhanced by his absolute ridiculous overt love for Alabama football and all things Nick Saban. So for Feinbaum to jump off the bandwagon and be like, this is very un-Nick-like. This is absolutely surprising and appalling. And I can't believe that he stepped out and said something of this nature publicly. First of all, which tells you that he's probably been saying things like this privately for a while.
Sure.
But I mean, look, let's be honest. We're all always amazed when somebody famous makes that kind of public gaffe.
Yeah.
Like, he was in the building, he was feeling himself.
But
like,
that's
he lost his mind for a second.
It wasn't even a gaffe, right? Like, he got up there and told the truth. Like,
yeah, he forgot the mic was
loud.
But that's what makes it so perfect to me, right? Because he ain't wrong. He just shouldn't be talking. Yeah. He's like the last person that should be talking.
Yep. Gotta be careful. Now he's opened the door. Who comes through? What comes through?
It's wide open.
Yeah.
Door's wide open.
Wide open.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, they shouldn't have sanctioned. SEC shouldn't have sanctioned Jimbo. Jimbo.
I agree.
Jimbo was counterpunching. What you supposed to do? Just stand there and take it? No.
You're not going to start the fight. You're going to finish the fight.
You got to say something.
I mean, you definitely should have the right to. If somebody comes after your name and your program like that, you definitely you should have the right to respond.
Well, and Jimbo made it very clear that his issue was that that Coach Saban was attacking his kids, his new recruits, and their parents. That was his issue, and he made that very clear.
So, out of all of this, I mean, this is for you, Clyde. Guess who the ultimate troll in all of this was?
It wasn't me, so I don't know.
At Ole Miss.
Oh, sure. Of course.
Lane
Did
Kiffin.
you see the mastery when this man put this tweet together? I mean, Clyde-esque, okay? He says, 2018, 0 5 stars. 2019, 2 5 stars. 2020, 2 5 stars. 2021, 1 5 star. NIL introduced, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 2022, 7 5 stars, and the highest rated class of all time. Makes perfect logic after losing to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and LSU, and finishing 4-4 in the SEC. It was clear to the nation's elite recruits that this was the program on the rise.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And
Clyde,
like
you
I
helped him
said,
write that,
Lane
didn't you?
Kiffin,
I'm here for
salute you.
all of it.
You helped him
He
write
gets a
that.
standing. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a Clyde tweet.
Oh my goodness.
That's literally the best
Wow.
thing. That's the best thing that man has done in his career, right?
Oh man, I'm telling you. I mean, he's like, you want receipts? Okay, here we go.
Yeesh.
Oh man.
Tough crowd. Man.
Oh man.
All right. Well, we're going to turn the corner and put the governor in the seat of would you rather this week. So I may have set myself up failure because would you rathers are much easier when they're, what's the word? Inappropriate. So the level of G that I have to keep these at make it hard, but funny nonetheless.
Yes.
So, Governor, you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Okay. Would you rather, I'm going to start off easy and build up a little bit, hopefully. Would you rather cut the grass or shovel snow?
Cut the grass.
There are some people who hate it. If you have allergies, it's not fun. But having sat in very cold weather this week, that was the first one that came to mind. Would you rather long jump in the rain or in the wind?
So into a headwind or in the rain?
Sure, let's call it that because that's more
Okay.
effective.
Into the wind.
Into the wind.
Yes.
Got it. I love it. A jumper understands. Someone who doesn't jump doesn't necessarily understand why.
I've seen many fail trying to jump into the rain. I've seen many
right?
fail.
Exactly. Would you rather forget your toothbrush or your razor on a trip?
I would rather forget my razor. I gotta keep the pearly whites. Gotta keep them clean. No. I'm not. I don't play with my teeth. No.
Would you rather get salt in a cut or bite your tongue?
Oh man. I'd rather put salt in a cut.
See, they're both rather like it's pretty. Those are both excruciating.
Biting your tongue, man. Oh, yeah. I'd rather put salt in the cut.
Would you rather wear flip-flops in the sand or have soggy boots in the mud?
Oh,
in mud.
Look at my look. You see what's behind me?
Oh man.
Totally like, yeah.
Right.
Give me the sand any day.
Mm-hmm. I'm bringing back another question because I thought this was great for you because your facial response when I first asked was a good one. Would you rather spend $3 million in one day or triple your salary forever?
Triple my salary forever.
I'm right there with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fun one. Would you rather be a long jump official at a Diamond League meet or a starter at a high school meet?
Or a what?
Or a starter, the pistol guy or girl?
Diamond League. Definitely. Yes.
You want to call those false starts?
No. Because I'll be going home thinking about the amount of false starts that happen, the amount of flyers, the amount of, oh man.
Oh man. Okay. Would you rather write an email on your phone or on a computer? Compose an email.
On my computer.
Would you rather eat a stale cookie or an undercooked cookie? I have a sweet tooth right now. I've been eating mango. I got mango on the mind.
No, I'll undercooked.
See, me too.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
and this
people eat cookie dough like it's nothing. I mean, yeah.
What's a stomach ache? You'll be all right.
What is that?
Last one, and only because it's you and your background stimulated this thought. Would you rather eat fruit from the States or fruits from the island?
Oh, there's no comparison.
I know the answer.
Don't even bother. That's no comparison.
Right, exactly. I know all of our Zimbabweans. I was saying for them to go get some fruit because they need to get hydrated, and they're like, yeah, of course, coach, because the fruit here is just water anyways. And I was like, oh, yeah.
It's like eating pasta in Italy compared to the US and trying to figure out how it tastes so good with literally just
nothing,
tomatoes and a little bit of seasoning. Like, how do you do this? How do you lightly coat the pasta? Like, why is it not drowning in it? How is it so good? You know?
All right, gentlemen, your turn for questions.
I don't know if I have a question yet, but I do have one point of contention on his answers. I agree with you got to maintain the teeth. But if you leave the razor, you can't get a good one from the hotel front desk. You can get a toothbrush.
So okay, looking at what you have to do, I will easily just cut this all off. That is not a problem. I would rather just, you have to shape and mold, and it's not even that serious for me. Just making sure the smile is somewhat.
Hotel razors are dangerous.
This is true.
Oh, all right. Lost in question.
I have a question for you. I would like to know, I have been impressed with what I've watched you do in your time as a head coach. What are you most excited about for the future of your program?
The moving from the focus on conference, I think it's pervasive at this level. When you have a program or there's a mindset that, well, we'll never compete with those guys, so let's just fit into our little box. And it has been unbelievable to see the transformation from when I first got here to where we're at now, where athletes, they are thinking past conference. They want to go to the first round. They want to go to Eugene. I don't have to trust me, we had situations where athletes were making plans right after conference. Like, they were leaving because they didn't think that there was anything more. And when we introduced this, oh my gosh. I mean, I've had a situation where an athlete was upset that the athlete was going on, that there was more there. Like, how dare you, find my potential? It was like, what? So to get to this point now, we have 15 athletes heading to Fayetteville. And not only that, athletes being upset that they're not going. I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to building on that.
What is the thing that you are looking least forward to about our trip to Arkansas?
Well, and the petty guy has arrived.
Well, just like what Sir Lucius is about to deal with. I mean, we don't know what the weather is going to be. Like, we can easily sit here and look at the projections and all of that, but right now it's saying rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then supposedly it clears up after that. There's no telling. Okay. Now, getting your athletes ready and being prepared for whatever, that's something that comes with experience. I mean, we can talk till we're blue in the face. It's another thing when we get to the meet and it's, 60 degrees, raining sideways, and hey, I need you to go perform. What? So that's what I'm probably not looking forward to the most, because you're sitting there and you're telling your athletes, hey, everybody has to deal with it, right? But there's still the issue of the athlete going out there and executing.
Would you rather coach gold medalist, world record holder?
Ooh. So I know what the answer would be if you were to ask me what I prefer.
That's what I'm asking you.
But from a coaching standpoint, I would much rather coach the gold medalist.
Amen.
Period, point blank. There is a definite difference when that's on your resume, like to coach someone to the mountaintop. No, there's no question in my mind.
I can tell you that I've had I'm gonna say it now, first world problems, so Clyde doesn't say it. I've had the blessing and pleasure of doing them both.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I have teared up or had any tears at all at a track and field competition over a performance was when Crown won the gold medal.
Yeah.
The only time.
Yeah.
Not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Because see, the record at some time can be broken.
Yes.
The medal is the medal.
Medals are forever.
Forever.
Medals are forever.
Absolutely.
Got it. Good answers. Good answers. Yes, sir.
Can I skip the line for heartbeat props? I got somewhere I gotta be.
Yes. To the front of the line.
This guy.
No, but you're gonna like this one though. And then I get to drop the mic and leave, and I get to watch the show and find out what y'all said after. So my heartbeat props are split over the same point of contention. It goes out to my assistant Ernie Clark and the state of California, because we put on the best version of a state championship in the nation, because there's only one champion. And throughout the gauntlet of a process that these kids have to do to get there, this past weekend was sectional championships, also known as masters for a lot of the areas. Me and my assistant, Ernie Clark, went on an epic road trip, and for the Californians, and I know Lamariachi will fully love this. Friday night, we started at the Sac Joaquin section. The meet went from roughly 5 to 10 p.m. at night. We left and headed to Los Angeles. Arrived at 5 a.m., awoke at 11 a.m. to watch the Southern Section Masters Championship, which ended around 5, but we left right after the 200 to drive to Clovis to watch the Central Section Masters Championship that started around 6 p.m. We made it about halfway through. All in me, the Clark, Tesla, all around the state, just to pay homage to the young men and young women that we have signed and make our presence seen throughout the state. If people are wondering why we're having the success that we have, is because we grind like other people are unwilling to do. So props to Ernie Clark and props to the state of California. And yes, the NCAA championships get popping off this weekend with East and West prelims, but find your way to the internet and the meet results or the live video coverage of the California State Finals, which are this weekend in Clovis. One champion. I don't care if there's 200 kids in your school or 30,000.
Mhm.
One champ.
Yep.
It's going to be a show.
It means more. Means more.
It just means more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Love y'all, and I'm out.
Bye. Have fun.
See you.
I'll go next. My heart. You're breaking up, so I'm still cutting. Coach Lowe in Illinois, Kankakee. He just won the Illinois state title on the girls' side, first ever for the school. Had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman, I think it was almost 2 years ago now, in a USATF class that I was teaching. And it's been fun to see him kind of grow a culture that he wanted to make sure that he was instilling that was going to be for the long ride and not just a short ride. And so the fruits of his labor came to this year. We're about to have a conversation after to see if it came faster than he thought. So just big ups, heartbeat props to that team and that championship. It's fun. It's always fun when you win. So good stuff.
I'll go next.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give my heartbeat props to assistant coaches everywhere, and because the head coaches obviously get the headlines because we are the face of the program, but there's no head coach out there that he or she's going to be honest with you. That will deny that we cannot do this without the tireless, gut-wrenching, back-breaking work that our assistants do. So my heartbeat props is to all the assistants out there who take our marching orders and move forward with them and carry them out graciously and get the job done. So assistant coaches, stand up.
That's right. I am going to give props to the American Track League. And, what started as an experiment by Paul Doyle, just to give athletes an opportunity to compete. If, athletes that don't have options overseas, that sort of thing, to be able to get the time slots on ESPN. There's still, obviously there's still tons of kinks to be worked out, tons of things to be dealt with in terms of locations and weather and all that stuff. But at the same time, the one thing that we have complained about over the years has been opportunities for athletes to go out and show and prepare. And, not everybody wants to get on a plane and fly over, 8 hours, 10 hours, and compete the next day, stuff like that. So, I give props to the idea. Obviously there's still more to be done to get this thing to where it is watchable and it is presentable and professional. Those things will come in time. But heartbeat props to Paul Doyle for getting this thing off the ground and giving these U.S. athletes opportunities to compete.
My heartbeat props go out to junior college and four-year college baseball players whose careers are either ending or taking massive changes this week. Conference championships have started. And for those of you who don't know, the field of 64 in baseball is incredibly hard to make because it's RPI based, and therefore a little more than 25% of the field is going to come from the SEC and the ACC, and more than 45% of the field will come from Power 5 conferences. So if you're not in a Power 5 conference, It's not enough to win your conference championship for the year. You then have to turn around and win the conference tournament, because that's where the bid comes from. And, you know, look, as a fan, you love it. As a person and directly involved in it, you're like, this is just too much. But, you know, the finality of it is brutal. And my phone has rung several times in the last few days of kids who, you know, not are done, but they're done where they are. And now they're on to the next thing. And it's not an easy thing for them. So my heartbeat props go out to these young people who are, you know, endeavoring to play a sport that they love, that they started when they were 4 years old. And the goal is really simple, just to keep playing.
Kudos to them. Well, another fun show. We will all find our sanity and good health, and probably be singing a different tone come Sunday, but that'll be okay too. a week from this recording. So safe travels, health, and the best weather that we can get in our respective regions. Sorry, Sir Lucius. I don't. Oh man, I don't know how you guys are gonna do it, knowing what they've gotten this weekend.
We'll get it. We'll get it done somehow. We always
yes,
do.
Always do.
Patience.
Always do.
Patience.
Exactly. So, everyone, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good week.
When the lights come on, the road just get to running. When the lights come on, opponents mess the plumbing. Heard you like it warm, hot, knife the butter. Truth hit them hard, knock them off that rebuttal. Tsunami, tidal wave to your puddle. Tough love, punch you in the arms, little brothers. Athletics LLC, there's no others. Track and field's placing with pill to go further. Hey, Wile E. Coyote, it's road runners. Feels like you know us, you've been with us the whole summer. If not for this quarantine, these four corners wouldn't be here, but we're here, so start learning. You gotta earn your stripes, gotta get your scars. Show you how to fight, but show us who you are. You lack experience, but still you wanna talk. And who is actually talking to you? Circle's kinda small. Heads prevail when the backbone's strong. Gotta keep it coming, no, it won't last long. Pass and fail, then sell the sad song. And if you don't check yourself, then that's wrong. Just trying to give you the real that you asked for. So why you keep cutting us off to ask more? We put it in slow-mo, but you fast forward. Athletics LLC, the task force.